The tests like TESOL, Beck, and Teaching Knowledge Test. Presently, she is working as Assistant Professor, Senior Grade at Hindustan Institute of Technology and Science, Chennai. In addition, she has also been a freelancer, student counselor, translator, and IELTS trainer. She has published 2 books and also worked as associate editor. She has published research articles in reputed international and national journals and has presented papers in conferences and seminars. Once again, I welcome you, ma'am, for this session. I also welcome all the participants for today's session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful introduction of mine. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Evangeline, and from Hindustan Institute of Technology and Science. And today I'll be talking about writing, which is very important. And now I'll share the screen. Please tell me whether it is visible. Ma'am, is it visible, my PPT?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So today's topic will be like how to improve the art of writing. So when do we start to write? You all know from young age, I should say, like when you're a child, small one, our parents used to hold our hands and make us to write the characters, isn't it? And previously, those days, olden days, before you were born, every writing started by putting all the characters or the baby's name on grains, rice grains, and then they start. So that's the beginning of writing. And when we start to go to school, like a pre-KG, LKG, whatever it is, UKG, and all those things, we train ourselves, we train our kids to write, holding their hands, pencil, or even chalk and whatever it is, and start writing. Slowly, we combine all the characters and form words, and words into sentences, and sentences into paragraph. As we grow older, or to the stages, we start writing more and more. The problem is we don't understand what type of writing we are doing and why we are writing and how to write. So maybe after this presentation, you will have a clear idea of like whatever I said. Bacon rightly said that reading makes a full man and writing an exact man, because when we talk speaking, we stammer, we do collect words here and there, and you just want to present it then and there, and you stammer a lot. But while writing, you think in silence, and the words will be flowing in your mind. That's why he said that writing makes an exact man. What is writing? We do talk about a lot of writings. We do this, that, even the research work, PhD thesis, and all these things. So what is writing? It's a technology that helps us to produce something, and which we record it and we share. And the main thing is to connect people. If you just want to write a simple letter to somebody, why do you write a letter? We express our thoughts, to share our thoughts. How do we feel about that particular thing? And then we connect people with that. So that is the basic thing. That's why we start with letter writing, report writing, and all these things to express our thoughts, isn't it? So writing, we can subdivide into two, that is academic as well as non-academic. So what is academic writing? As research scholars, students of UG and PG, and whoever it is who is attending this meeting, you very well know that what is academic writing, because we are trained to do academic writing. Okay, so very much it is objective. That is clear. What should be done? What should I write? How to write? What are the matters to be written? All these things. And this one we cannot imagine and write. It is always based upon facts and solid basis. So it is not that we imagine, we do write something, blabber something, leave that. No. So it is nothing but facts. You will be discussing about the facts. And who will be writing this? Professionals. So if you are going to write some academic piece, then you are a professional. Please keep that in mind. So whatever it is, whatever I'm putting it together in my notebook or in my paper, which is called as academic writing, is to be done with utmost care because we are all professionals. It is not that we can put all those, unwanted words. For example, say that all beep words. Nowadays, youngsters use all those words, isn't it? While talking, you can hear them, which is very odd to listen. Leave off that one. So they tend to write it in their piece of work. Nowadays, we are very much addicted towards our, social media and a lot of other things where we grasp words from all these things. We do watch all those, serials, Korean serials, K-drama, whatever it is. So we get here and there few words, how they speak and what it is, and we tend to, put or incorporate all those things in our writing, which is not the academic writing. That is not the professional way of writing. You know a lot, you gather informations, but it is not necessary that all that you gather must be on the paper. Try to understand that. So if you are going to present it professionally, all these things you should have it in mind. Okay, please avoid all those jargons or whatever it is which doesn't suit your topic. Second one, please don't use short forms because WhatsApp nowadays has reduced the grammar, the spelling, whatever it is in English, isn't it? YOUR, you write as you are, but the professional way of writing is YOUR. So keep that in mind, right? That's why use of formal words which may contain some technical terms. You will be writing a paper, for example, in computer science or, in biotechnology, whatever it is. Those terms which is related to that particular topic, it is very important to be incorporated in your writing. That enriches your writing, the level of writing. Yes, don't put simple words. Try to give some other words where it shows your proficiency, that you know too much of vocabulary. That's very important, right? And finally, if you're going to write about a research article, that's which is again academic writing, you have to include references. It is very, very, very important. All MPhil and PhD scholars know about this, writing, article in the journal or even publishing a paper, whatever it is. Reference is very important. You know why? The ideas may be yours, but the argument and all those things, you grab it from somebody else and you're going to put it in your paper. It is not your own thing. So it is always better that to be truthful. Yes, I took this content from this site. I took this content from this particular person's article. So all these things, if genuinely displayed in your article, that becomes a professional writing. Yes, so I have given a few examples. That is the journals where you can publish and all these articles, which is called as academic writing, is nothing but your scientific journals and humanities journals, and a lot of journals are there. Good journals. Now it is like UGC care journals, peer-reviewed journals, right? And Scopus Index journals. All these things are there. Fine. So, okay, we talked about academic writing. What is non-academic writing? It is nothing but whatever you know, a little bit of writing. As I told you, to friends, you write something and give. And this will be more personal than professional. Yes, so this will be more personal, which is based on your opinion. I think like this. In my point of view, is like this. So all these things, when you put together and write, this becomes your non-academic writing. Okay, and this one you cannot give it to a specific audience because academic writing, there are specific audience. As I told you, if it is from biotechnology or computer science or say any other discipline, it is the audience will be specific only to that particular thing. For us, English we write, but that too, ELT and literature. So I'm going to write a paper on ELT. The persons who belong to ELT group will be enjoying it. And if it is in literature, those who enjoy the piece of work is the people who know literature. Likewise, it is specific. Here, I do write a piece of thing which describes my place. It is not necessary that it should be a literature student or computer science students or even law students, whoever it is. So that type of writing is called non-academic writing. Okay, and here you can use a casual way because it is your personal opinion. But keep this in mind, whichever writing, whether it is academic or non-academic, try to avoid the local slang and local languages and the words which we use. Please be careful because others will be reading that. Yes? Okay. Right. I know how to be a professional. I know how to write it. Even my opinions I can present. So far, it is good. Right. I know how to write. But how come I become an effective writer? If anybody reads my piece of work, how come I have to some effect on others, my readers, isn't it? So just like that, I cannot write and throw it away. You have to organize it. So that becomes your next thing, which becomes your habit. So all writers cannot be effective. If you just want to become an effective writer, whatever piece you're writing, your habits must be good. So, how to develop that habit and what are the habits? The first one is you have to organize and argue. Argue in the sense in writing. So, what is that? Raise about important issues and give some good arguments. Okay, provide some evidence for that. That becomes very effective and more professional. And be concise about what you're talking. Don't blabber, don't elaborate it because readers will become bored. So give concise amount. That is, please do edit and take away the unnecessary words. Don't give repetition. And whatever the phrases and sentences you're going to use must catch the attention of the readers. Okay, and write what you mean. I have some idea inside, and when I put it on my paper or in my book or whatever writing I do, it doesn't come out. So please do be very careful that whatever I just wanted to write down, what I want to mean, you have to write it down because many readers read that and the same meaning must be there. Whatever the writer thinks must be there in the reader's mind. Clear? That should be very clear. Now, whatever it is you're going to write, the choice of words is important and how you express it is very, very important. And the thing is meaning, what it utters, even the words or sentence or paragraph, what it is. Whatever is in your mind, does that give. So be careful. And write with force. I don't know, Hindi word Josh. Okay, write with force. That is, express, be clear about that. Express your ideas directly. Don't beat around the bush. So write it directly, and how far you can present it gracefully is very important. See, this word gracefully, usually we use it for dance. She is dancing gracefully. Each dancers may have their own style, whichever category it is, Bharatanatyam or Kuchipudi or Kathak, whatever it is, they're the dancers. You can see that how gracefully they carry themselves. That must be there in your writing. The writing expresses yourself. So be careful. And write for a reader, not for you. You have a thought or you have an idea. You just want to express it on your paper or in your book. You just want to give it to the reader. So since you are giving it to the reader, it should be reader oriented, not writer oriented. Okay. So you should know the reader, where I should capture them and all these things and then start them. The main thing is revise and rewrite. It is not a wrong thing to do. It is not that you have to, you have to revise it or rewrite it. It's not even the students, we ask them to revise. After finishing the exam, please do read again and rewrite or cancel whatever it is unwanted and do it. All these things we do it, isn't it? So whatever piece of writing you do, before putting a fair draft, please do revise and rewrite. Yes. And the last one will be avoid common errors. You know, or if you are confused whether the spelling is correct or whether the sentence pattern is correct, please do cross check. Now you have lots and lots of, softwares, and online you have this Grammarly and all those things which can help. So please do seek that thing and help, and then you can amend your paper, and you can do that one. Okay, so errorless, and the subject matter will surely make you an effective writer. Right. So how will I write a good piece of work? I just want to write. How? So what are the elements to be followed? Mainly, there are four things. First one is clarity, second one is grammar, then composition, and then finally editing. So clarity is nothing but what you're going to write, the views, the points, the ideas, everything. So I just, gather all the things. Okay, these are the things I just want to write. So my vision is clear. Then the grammar. As you know, a lot of grammar topics are there. I don't need to go into it. So grammar topics. Fine. I just want to I just want to be very clear about the grammar. Okay, wherever it is, you have to apply. For example, the subject verb agreement, or even singular plural verbs and all these things. Next is what you're going to write, how to combine all those things and elaborate it. One topic, I mean, one paragraph must be connected to the next one. Please don't write hanging paragraphs. That is no connectivity between each paragraph. That will reduce the intensity of the readers, of writing and all those things. So please do have a connection. And final thing is editing. This is very important, because in every book, or every piece of work, edited by editor. The thing is, unwanted matters and unwanted words, unwanted materials will be removed, okay, from whatever it is. Yes, so you have to be very careful about this. Editing, again, please be careful that whatever it is, you cannot cut and throw it. Please do read the sentence or read the paragraph, read the content, and do find the correlation between each things, and whether it is connected or not. Right? In editing, the important thing to keep in mind is that even though you are a writer, you have to be a reader. Okay, in reader's perspective, what all things you will expect? We say that you have to be in their shoes. So stand like the reader and you read your piece of work, not like a writer. So then you will understand, oh, as a reader, I can find these things are missing in my piece of work. So I should edit it. And this one doesn't have any correlation or any connectivity. What is the writer trying to say? So you are your own critic first. Okay, instead of outside people or the readers criticizing your work, it is better you criticize your work first and try to amend it. Right? So after finishing it or after editing it, whatever it is, please do read it again and again until you get satisfied as a writer as well as a reader. Right. Now, I know I have material, I have content, I know how to write and all those things. How to develop it? Many of us ask this question to ourselves. I have the paper, ma'am. I have the pen. I have the ideas over here. Write it. So there are few tips to develop your writing skills. Okay. It will never happen just in one day. We are not like magician or some fairy goddess will come and give you, you want to write something? Okay, fine. You take this, you will write. No, it is not like that. You have to develop the skill if you just want to become a good writer. Writer in the sense, I'm not talking about you writing a novel or writing a book or whatever it is. Just a piece of work, whatever it is, more professional. Yeah. So the first thing is you have to read a lot. A lot in the sense, it is not that when you buy vada or dosa or whatever it is, they pack in a paper and give. Eat the dosa or vada, you read it. Today I read it. No, it is not the type of reading. You can do it for entertainment. It's okay. All these gossips and all those things, forget about You can read it. But the problem is, apart from your academic thing, books, whatever your subject books or related to subject, whatever it is, apart from that, what are you reading? How much time you are spending for that reading? So keep that in mind. Today onwards, evening onwards, try to read at least 2 pages. Take a novel of any genre, whichever you like. I do like detective novels. Romantic novels is out of my area, because of the age. So you are all young people, young chaps. You can read it. So take any book, good books, which has good language. Take it, simple ones. Take it. Do read 2 or 3 pages. If you start reading it slowly, you will come to know that you will deeply endorse yourself of reading. 3 pages, 4 pages, five, six, 10, it goes on and on. And sometimes you will be deeply addicted to that book, even if within 2 days you will complete that book and throw it off. So try to develop the reading. Nowadays you have Kindle edition and all those ebooks are there. If you are very comfortable reading it in your mobile, very good. Sit, read it. You can talk, chat with your friends, whatever it is, it's okay. But to enrich yourself, to boost up yourself, reading is very, very important. So do follow that. Clear? Second one is watch. You have to watch a lot. I don't know. Many families, I do find all these people, mainly ladies, I should say, all watch all those stupid serials, like I don't watch TV, so I don't know. They all watch all these serials, Tamil serials, Hindi serials. Entertainment wise, it is okay, but please do understand you're killing the time. And youngsters are more addicted to mobile phones where they use all what is called that Insta, Reels, and Snapshot, whatever it is, Facebook, everything. Please do analyze, okay, using Insta or using whatever it is, how are you going to boost up yourself or enrich yourself with ideas? If you're going to start up a business, entrepreneur, you can put an Insta page or you can find who are all doing the same business, well and good, because that is development. Instead of that, just picking up some random reels and just for fun you're scrolling, and by the time 2 3 hours will be over, you're wasting your time. Please try to control it. Do watch a lot of a good piece of work where people discuss documentaries, okay, where you can learn the language. That's how you end it. So whatever I grasp by watching, I do implement it in my writing. Usually I tell to my students to watch good English movies, that good underline or within quotes, okay, good English movies when they are free. Weekly one movie. Enough. So first, if you just want to watch a movie, English movie, please do watch it with subtitles. English movie with English subtitles, not with Tamil or any other language, please. So watch that movie with English subtitles. So when you watch it, you can notice that even though you don't understand the pronunciation, you can find out many words are there. You can find new words or unfamiliar words you can find. So you can note it down because instead of reading, visualization gives you more impact, isn't it? So do that. After 3 months or 4 months or even 5 months, watch that same film without subtitles. Because these 3 months you might have watched many films with subtitles, isn't it? Repeat it without subtitles. If you are able to grasp the word, what they are uttering, you are in a good mood or good move. Yes, so please do that. It's like a homework. That's it. You want to watch cartoons? Very good. Watch it with subtitle, and then take off the subtitles and do watch it. That's how you learn the language. Yes, you are. I don't know. Many of us young girls are addicted to K drama nowadays. Even though they don't understand the language, they just have this subtitles with the English and they go with that. I ask my students, why are you so much addicted to K dramas? Why not other things? You know what they said? It's light. It's not like killing, running, and all those things. Like it's more polite, and we do like it, and the concept is good, very good. If you want to watch that, and if you're very keen about learning Korean language, please do watch Korean dramas. I suggest. So if you want to develop a language, it is better to watch a particular thing in their own language. The same thing I'm talking about English. you can get it. Fine. Write a lot will be your next step. You read, you watch, and try to write it. So the best way to entertain yourself of writing is whatever the movie you watch, try to write a review about it. Weekly is a assignment for like a student. So whatever you watch, you write. Finished. Ma'am, I love to watch Tamil movie. Very good. All movies you watch. But do write the review in English. If you are able to write the review as reviewers, no movie reviewers, very good. You are improving your writing skill. So that's how it should be, a step one by one. So if you want to become a professional, these are the steps to be followed. Previously, I told you, you are your own critic, isn't it? Whatever you write, you're going to read it and criticize yourself, whether it's good or bad, and then amend it. So that's your feedback. This feedback is very, very, very important. Even we teachers do get a feedback which boosts up. If I'm doing something wrong, immediately the students will say, "Ma'am, this is it. This is how we do it." All these things. So I try to change myself, right? For changing your style, for changing your, upgrading your skills, feedback is very important. And you have to open your ears for feedback. Don't take it in a wrong sense. You read something, you write something, and you circulate to your readers or your friends, whoever it is, they read and say, "Hey, what is this you have written here? Is this the way you write? See this one spelling mistakes and see the concept is not correct." All these things. You listen to them. "Oh, I had made a mistake. I will amend it." Accepting the mistake is the next step for improvement. So try to accept it. Don't reject. You don't say, I know better than you, yeah. I can write more." Please don't say that. Don't deny. Accept your mistakes and try to amend it. Yeah. The last one will be participating in activities. So group discussions, interviews, public speaking, whatever it is which is available in your class environment or in your society environment, please do participate. That gives you confidence. Many people live in apartment, and in apartments they will be conducting some activities, programs. Volunteer yourself. Please try to speak in English as well as in your Tamil or Telugu, whatever it is, which other people understand. You have the ability to adjust with two languages, right? And later on stages, who knows, you can become a good translator also, because I did that. So you do it. You have the stuff. But the thing is, you should know how to implement it. If an opportunity comes, grab it. That's all. If somebody asks you to write, write. Because when you write again and again and again, that is the main step to enrich. Right? Okay. So all these things. Now, there are few styles of writing. Okay. So these are the few styles: expository, persuasive or argumentative, narrative, and descriptive. Let's see one by one. Expository, what's that? It focuses on a specific topic. Okay, facts, keep that in mind, facts. So you are going to give some figures. For example, the sale of mobile phones, the sale of sarees. You cannot speak that, okay, this percentage, this. No, give the figures and facts of that particular thing. Okay, so how that particular thing reaches the height, describe the process. And you have to arrange it logically and sequentially, because I might be talking about 2023 sales, and suddenly I'll be going to 1896 sales. Don't do that. Gradually you say, or vice versa. From 23 to go down. This year it was like this. Now it has been increasing. So 2023 we have a massive sale. Do that. Okay, and how to arrange it and what all the things I can write in this expository style. You can write your own books, cookbooks, ingredients, and all those things you write, isn't it? And news stories, all technical writing, business writing, everything falls under expository style. My next one will be persuasive and argumentative. Arguments always positive and negatives. It is like opinion. It's what do you call that? Opinion is the most important one, right? Some may argue that whatever I think is the right one, and many can argue that no, 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 you are wrong. This is the right one. In Tamil, you might have seen Mia Nana. If you have watched any TV, there are arguments. Okay, that type of things comes under persuasive or argumentative style. Okay, and in this type of writing you have to have justifications, reasons, because always arguments have this. You have to justify why you argue for that particular reason, isn't it? So that becomes your argument, and you must have the ability to convince your readers to agree whatever you say is right. So that type of positivity writing is there in your argumentative or persuasive writing. For example, your opinion columns, editorial pieces, advertisements. Advertisements convince us. Again and again we read, again and again we watch. What is that? Recently I saw Fair and Lovely advertisement. It's make you fairer. Even though you use tons and tons of Fair and Lovely, you cannot change your color. That's different. But advertisements brainwash you because it argues that this will happen and makes the viewer and reader believe. It's like that. Next is narrative. Narrative is always storytelling. Keep that in mind. So it tells about a story. It can be either fact-filled or fictional. And this is purely about your imagination. That's narrative. If I ask you, please do narrate an incident which happened in your childhood, or when you are 8 years, 9 years old. You start writing about the day one you started learning bicycling, isn't it? Or painting, or even dressing up like your mom, putting lipstick and all those cartoons and all those things. So you do give your imagination in it, and you elaborate a story that becomes narrative. And here in this narrative, the matter, the story, the content, whatever you're going to develop becomes important. Keep that in mind. That's how all these novels, short stories, poetry, memoirs, and biographies are developed. Biographies. I don't know how many of you read about our great Abdul Kalam sir. So if you read his biography, he develops a mother, supplying food or giving food. That's a basic incident which happens in every family. But he writes like how she gives the rice with the sambar and the coconut chutney and all those things, which makes the reader to visualize what it is. It is on the plantain leaf, so you can visualize, and even you can feel the aroma of sambar. That is the way of writing. Yes, how you narrate the things, that falls in your narrative. Okay. Descriptive is nothing but a vivid image of whatever it is you're going to say, and it will be more personal, right? Youngsters, if I ask you to write down about falling in love, you will start writing many pages. You describe and describe many things. So here in descriptive writing, the main thing you have to keep it in mind is you have to satisfy all the five senses to create the imaginative thing. Okay, so you may ask you, how is the narrative and descriptive different? They are intertwined. Okay, so you can describe a story which becomes a narrative, where, as I told you, I take the example of Dr. Kalam's, that aroma of the sambar, you can feel it when you read the thing. It is not there, no picture is there, but the words itself will represent. You can see, you can smell it, you can taste it. That's how the descriptive works. Right? So, for example, poetry. I don't know how many of you read poems, Tamil, in your own language, in your mother tongue or in English, whatever it is. When you read it, you can feel it. All these nature poets, since I belong to English department, I can say about Wordsworth, isn't it? Nature poet. So when you read his poetry or any one piece of poem, you can, feel it walking inside the woods. You can hear the chirping of birds, the sounds of the leaves, how the sun peeps through the leaves and through the twigs, through the branches. You can feel that, you can imagine that. That is the power of words. I don't want to move to love letters. I'm leaving it to you. So I'm very interested in poetry. So I'm talking about that. Right. So there are few styles to be followed, as I told you, isn't it? Those are very specific and generic way of styles are there. Few styles I have described as much as I can. Number one is word choice. So be it a piece of like two paragraphs or a thesis, whatever it is, words are very necessary. Without words, you cannot write. You cannot give the blank paper as it is, isn't it? So words are necessary. As I told you, eliminate unnecessary, the flowery words. That is buttering. Don't do that. In your work, don't do that buttering. It is not necessary. You're going to present your ideas, and it is not necessary to butter somebody. Again, avoid repetition and complex writing. See, I read a story and I read it, a third paragraph, fourth line, few words I don't understand. As a reader, what I will do? I could not proceed because I don't understand what it is. Maybe it is an important paragraph. I don't understand. Or I skip that paragraph and go to the next paragraph. Two things can happen. Maybe some readers, they do find the meaning in the dictionary and then come back. One or two times it is acceptable. But if you put all those complex words and each and every time make the reader to check the dictionary, they'll throw your book. Am I right? So be simple as possible. You might have read R.K. Narayan's Malgudi Days, Swami and Friends, isn't it? So very simple. And even the great Jawaharlal Nehru, he has written many letters to his daughter, Indira Gandhi, in a very, very, very simple manner. He's a very learned person, you know. When you read the letter which he wrote to his daughter, it's very simple that even the simplest, that people can understand it. Do give it like that. Your proficiency, your English proficiency must be seen in correlating all these things. Okay, and be very careful in sentence structure. Don't muddle up. Don't write too much of complex sentences. Give simple or compound sentences. Maybe one or two complex sentences, that's enough. But when you begin a sentence, you should know where to stop it and break it. Right? And next is sentence flow. I told you, one sentence must have a connectivity towards another. Then only you can connect two paragraphs. Otherwise, mix match. Next thing is your voice. Your voice in writing. I'm not talking about my voice talking. No. It is about writing. So, the information which you're going to give in your point of view must be important because you are the writer. Okay, and think about the reader whether they will accept it, and you just change it and give it to them. Your point of view, your matter, your idea in their perception. You're going to give because they have to accept it. Your argument, right? And it should be more formal because, as I told you, professionals, you have to be more formal. Okay, and if you're an English student or very much interested in English, you can use all these things, metaphors, imagery, and all those. In Tamil we have a lot, and other languages also. English you have many, so it's up to you, but be very careful when you put all these metaphors and imagery things, whether your readers will be able to understand it. As I told you, you're not supposed to give them just like that they throw it. No. So please consider that whether they will understand. Yes. And here I have given a small picture like, how to have an effective communication of ideas. Communication in the sense, not about talking, about writing. Okay, so clear, fluent, and effective way of communication of ideas. So I have many ideas. I just wanted to put it in my writing. How should I organize, or how should I, combine? So all these things there are eight points to be kept in mind. I'll start with the first one: word choice, vocabulary. So as I told you, to enrich your vocabulary, it is on daily basis. You cannot do it just like that in one day. You have to read a lot, watch a lot, write a lot, hear a lot, listen. You have to listen to the words, good words. Very particular about that. Nice, good words you have to. If you hear something like odd, just leave it. Don't take it in your brain. So nice words. And idioms, your tone as you talk. All these things matter. If you use it in your writing, that will enrich your writing. Others, the readers will think, my writer, has a lot of things. Next one is organizing. So segregating actually. This is my introduction. This is my content of or body of the particular matter. And then finally the conclusion. This is how it should be. The basic one. This is how it should be. So in that one, the paragraphs. I must have 3 paragraphs, 4 paragraphs, or paragraphs, whatever it is. Be very particular about the topic you are going to write. And the topic must have a correlation between the matter you're going to write. Fine? So, and wherever it is, if many paragraphs are there, if I pick one paragraph in your writing and read it, that should have a connectivity with your topic. It shouldn't get deviated. That is the cohesion and unity of the particular topic. Yes? The third one will be syntax and sentence structure. As I told you, sentence structure is very important, and please be careful about your spelling, the combination of words and all those things. Each writer have his or her own style of writing, way of writing. That's why our taste also differs, right? So you have to set a boundary for yourself. That's how you go. Okay, so you can adopt a stylistic choice of your own. Each writer has a style. So, take for example, whoever writes, I did talk about Wordsworth. He has his own style. Shakespeare, he has his own style. And nowadays, a lot of writers are there, and they have their own style. You can identify them. Okay, this book, this writer, he will write like this. He will write like this only. How? That is the style of the writer. Okay, you follow your own style. You don't copy somebody else. You have your own identity and you can follow. The next important point is grammar. So you must have the correlation and you must, go with the grammar rules. As I told you, subject verb agreement, articles, pronunciation, whatever it is, grammar is very important. Without grammar, nothing can be done. Simplest ones, right? And how to write it and all those things. Here, speaking about the spelling, grammar, and all those things, you must be very particular about few things. Nowadays, we get confused with American spelling and then British spelling, isn't it? So, for example, COLOUR, COLOR. When you type it in the computer, that U will be omitted because if you just want to follow the British, spelling, stick to it. And if you want to follow American, please do stick to it. Otherwise, in your book, in your piece of work, both things will be muddled up and you get confused and readers get confused. So don't do that. Next is content, relevance, clarity, originality, and logic. Nowadays, I should say you, this AI it has come like a boom, I don't know, and has come like that. So everybody, every student rely upon this AI. They just type the sentence or type the topic, they get the material, they get it finished. But what about your, brain? What about your enrichment or development? Nothing. So whatever piece of work you're going to write should be original. Don't copy it. Or ideas. You like some idea. Okay, this person has told about this particular idea. I can take it from it. Okay, fine. The idea you can take, but you develop. Don't copy their own words. Don't copy their own, style. Don't do that. You have to write in your own way. That is originality, right? And writing process, getting ideas, getting started, writing drafts, and revising. This is what I told you previously. That is, if you have ideas, get started. Put that ideas. Maybe one idea you're going to develop, or many ideas you're going to get. That is up to you as a writer. So do develop it. and do write it, draft it, and read it, revise it, get the feedback, again reread, redo. That is very important. One time you write it, you throw it, it is not, it is not a good thing. You have to do it again and again before you get the final draft. That is, it's how you give a good piece of work, right? The other important thing is $1 million question. Why are you going to write that particular thing? Many people might have written. So why have you selected that particular topic and why are you going to write on that? So that becomes your purpose. And why you're going to write it, that becomes your justification. I hope I'm clear. So why you're going to write, you should be very clear. Then only you can convince your reader. Okay, then you justify that I'm going to write this because I'm this. I may be an English teacher. I may be very good in speaking. I may be very good in teaching grammar, but I'm not very comfortable in writing. So what are the difficulties I faced? What are the hurdles in writing a good piece of work? All these things comes into my mind. And when I develop myself as a good writer, I can write my own book regarding this, how to become an effective writer. Isn't it? So whatever hurdles I faced, I write it in my book so that I can justify that these are the things I faced and I don't want others to face it and avoid it. So I tell to my readers, that's how it should be. Okay. And nowadays, the last point, it becomes, I don't know, because we stop writing, all typing. When after the laptop, computers, and mobiles came, we don't write. But kids, we practice writing. We ask them to write on the paper. We ask them to write on the board, isn't it? Even nowadays, we have that daughter's tab or iPad, whatever it is, and we give a stick to write it down. So that's how you develop your handwriting. That's handwriting is another big topic. I don't want to touch it. But if you're going to write it, be legible. Because once you write, you have to read it. Without understanding, how come you read it? You cannot understand your own handwriting, then how come you will proceed with that? So be very careful. You have to be very, very clear about writing, number one. Number two, spelling. As I told you, either it is British or American, whatever it is, stick to one and be very careful about the spelling. Don't get confused. Don't get carried over by the other things. Okay? If you don't know the spelling, please you cross-check the dictionary and then you post the good word, correct? Spelling. Punctuation, which is very important. Wherever comma is necessary, you have to put semicolon, quotes, exclamatory question mark. All these things must be there. Without that, it is incomplete. You can imagine if two persons are talking, you say something to the other person, and when you write it down, we put it within quotes, isn't it? With a question mark or exclamatory mark. Imagine that I'm not doing anything, just writing simple sentences. Will that be effective? Or will the readers be able to understand, oh, this is a question or this is just exclamation? They cannot understand. Simply they will be reading. And that will reduce the interest of the readers because they don't understand it is dull. Nothing is there, just simply the words. So that will reduce the intensity of your writing. Don't do that. So be very careful about the spelling and punctuation. Right? So all these 8 points comprises, and if you keep that in mind, you can have an effective way of writing. Yes? So, thank you. If you have any questions, you can post. Do you have any questions?
Ma'am,
Yes,
ma'am, this is Dr. Bhanupriya. Ma'am, I just want to know about idioms. What kind of idioms we have to use while writing a proposal?
Ma'am, proposal in the sense for what purpose you're going to write. That is very important.
That's for something relevant with the science proposals, like
Right. Technical you're talking about.
yeah.
Right. If you're going to use idioms and phrases, very good. But is it necessary? Think that whether it is very, very, very necessary to use idioms and phrases so that others can understand it. Because if you use idioms, if it is not suitable on that particular place, the intensity of your proposal will come down.
Okay.
So if it is very necessary, and maybe the ideas what you are going to give will be boosted up about using that idioms, then you can write it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Right? Any other things? Nowadays, students are, ma'am, more confused about writing theses and dissertation and all those things. So we just inform them to stick to the topic, to be very clear, and then divide the chapters and then divide it, and each chapter will be having a heading. So first stick to the topic, and then your subheading, and then the subdivisions in each chapters and all those things. That's how you develop your writing. That's what I said, like feedback. Re-revise or re-revising whatever it is you have to do it. Otherwise, no other go you will get a good piece of work. Yes, students nowadays use ChatGPT for their presentation. Yes, I do agree. But as teachers, we have the responsibility to tell them that ChatGPT is okay, fine. But the thing, the material, the matter should come from your brain, not from the stupid idiot box. So we should be very careful and we should train them, because why they use ChatGPT is for two things. Number one, time. The last moment they just want to do something and throw it off to the teachers. Number one. Number two is lack of vocabulary and ideas. They don't know. So it is better to train them in the class itself to give a topic to write and all those things without using mobile phones. Because as a teacher, I know once you give a topic, immediately the students will search up the mobile, keep them on the lap and search what it is and then write them. Ask them to, even though it is wrong, very good, you write your own thing. So that will reduce of using ChatGPT. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions, ma'am?
Participants, is there any other query?
Sai, ma'am.
Yes, Varun, ma'am.
Yeah,
Can
shall
we
we
wind up
close
the
the session?
session?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
And Mary, shall we?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Just a few words to extend my thanks to you, ma'am. I take this opportunity to thank the speaker, Dr. Mary Evangeline, for clearly elaborating on the importance of writing in research, especially effective writing. The focus on what to write and how to write in research is significantly analyzed. Hope the session was informative. Thank you, ma'am. I also thank all the participants for your response. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I should thank the management and the Muhammad SATHAK College and your department and my friends, all of you, and to giving an opportunity to present myself and give you just share few ideas with others. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Participants kindly fill the feedback form for today's session. Thank you.
Thank you, Evangeline ma'am, for accepting our invitations, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dear participants, kindly fill the feedback. The feedback is available in the chat box. Miss Gayatri ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Gayatri ma'am.
Ms. Gayatri, ma'am, I understand she has raised her hand. Is there any query or is there any clarification needed?
I can't hear you properly.
No, ma'am, there is one Madam Gayatri. She has raised her hand.
Hmm.
So we are looking for her answer.
Has she posed any questions, ma'am?
I don't know, ma'am. Maybe she just raised her
Okay, no,
hand.
no issues. Let her post her question.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Dear participants, we are going to wind up the sessions. Is anyone who wants to ask question to Dr. Mary Evangeline means you can use this time and you can ask question. She will guide you and she will support you for clarify your questions in a better way. Well, thank you all for joining today, and I would like to thank each and every participants who keeps on supporting us to conduct sixth day fifth FDP program today. And thank you all. Let's meet on Monday and continue our FDP program. Thank you all, and thank you for joining today. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.